going to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah, hope I get away with it. Oh, doo-dah, day.
Hello, folks, and welcome to an early edition of the weekend Last Man Standing. I am kind of trying to parse a few things there in the chat. We've got Carl and Thesis and Aunt Donna and Joe Bachman. And that seems to cover everybody that's with us at the moment. But, yep, and Thesis, I owe you an apology. I would have been there to watch all of your show, except I was outside trying to finish up the carpentry on the front porch before the predicted rainstorm that never happened. Hey, good news is I got 90% of that woodwork done, and my wife has agreed that I'm allowed to live up to my father's construction standards and do it very, very nicely in the finishing touches. So, and I'm also out of that particular trim board, so I will have to get another couple of short pieces before I can do any of the raw stuff on the other right angle corner, which would not mean anything to you because you don't know what the screened-in porch looks like on its interior. And thank you, YouTube, for telling me I'm now live. That's an alert I really didn't need to get right now, so to speak. That's been pretty much my day today. And to help me make it better, how's that for a segue? We got Joe Bachman and we got Aunt Donna right now. And oh, fireworks! All right, I got the most interesting friends. Carl,
always got to keep them guessing.
Good Lord, Carl, couldn't find any booths that you liked. So you might have to drink something you don't like. What, water? Um, yeah, booze you don't like. There's cement chocolate chip moonshine. Um, how badly do you want to help Carl get to his bedroom tonight, Donna? Oh, and Thesis is going to uh, see a man about a dog and may join us in a little bit. Yep, and yes, folks, this one is at the stupid o'clock time because if you hadn't noticed, there has not been a stupid o'clock for a couple of weeks, and Joe Dog has told me that maybe next week, maybe week after, we'll go back to the regular stupid o'clock followed by last man standing. We shall see how that works out. It is convention season, so he is busy running here, there, and everywhere, promoting Hallowcon as best he can.
Does he have all the videos figured out that he plans to play this year? I know that's one of the things he's normally about this time trying to get the list refined at least.
I've offered him 5 terabytes of cheesy sci-fi movies. He's going, no, I got my own. We shall see. Yeah, Carl, yes. Welcome to my life. Not doing this sober. Oh, good Lord. Bring a 5-year-old bottle of Hypnotique for you, Carl. Don't threaten Carl with a good time. Yeah.
He's going to bring Foxy and a bottle of booze to Uncle Carl. Let's think this over now.
Yeah, this is going to end well. A guy who's good with a sword is going to bring a pretty girl and a bottle of booze to meet Uncle Carl. Okay, what could go wrong?
I'm gonna record it.
Record it.
That's how I roll.
You're going to sell the footage.
Damn straight.
You record it, I'll sell the tickets to the live event and the popcorn.
How about some pretzels?
Pretzels work
the
too.
OnlyFans.
Only swords. That could
Okay.
go one of two ways.
That's how long alcohol lasts in my house. Get a couple of shots on shows just before because it's bright blue and most people don't know it's alcohol. Yeah. You got to watch out for the blue booze. It has a way of sneaking up on you.
Is that like the acid though? Blue is bad, green is good.
I don't know. I just don't take any of the brown stuff.
Okay, am I the only one that remembers that remark from the original Woodstock?
Sorry, I was quoting the album Lemmings, which was a parody of Woodstock.
And
Yeah.
I was born well after Woodstock.
I actually work with the guy who.
I know where
attended
you live, Joe. And I know your wife. No, at Woodstock, there was some bad acid going around.
Mm-hmm.
And there were blue tablets and there were green tablets, and Wavy Gravy came up with the blue is bad, green is good to let people know which one to take. Yes, Woodsman dude.
That was all that was left in there.
Oh, you got the moonshine, huh?
That's all that was left. That was it.
Oh man, we're gonna have to get some more. I don't think we can get any of that till Christmas.
Well, Merry Christmas to me.
I have some lemon pie moonshine coming though.
Ooh,
Ah,
that sounds interesting.
Oh, and
Yeah.
here Thesis has a link to that particular blue
Yeah.
liqueur, I do imagine.
Mm.
So if you're interested, check that out. But behave responsibly. We're all supposed to be adults here, and if there are any children watching, why?
Go away, kids. You bug us.
Aren't there Pokemon still?
Probably.
Don't you have subscriptions to your parents' porn channel or something? Not the porn channel with your parents on it, but the porn channel your parents watch. Oh, God, I feel old having to explain that.
Wow, I'm glad I picked this up first.
Yeah, but you're putting it down real quick, too.
What are you going to do when that's gone?
Go to bed.
Supper.
Just go to bed.
I think we were both right.
So, how's everybody doing tonight?
I got some stuff accomplished.
I heard that.
And as I was saying backstage before the show, I got Lindsay to agree to let me finish it up to the standards I learned from my father, rather than just letting it be, oh, that's good enough. Because that shit bothers me to no end, because I can always hear my dad in the back of my mind going, that ain't what I taught you, boy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fixing things around this house so they'll last about 20 years.
Hey,
Because that's about how long I'll last, and then it's somebody else's problem.
well, I'm aiming for everything I'm doing right now to be about 50. That way, whoever's in the wheel that I haven't made out yet can get a good price for this place.
Well, you're a better man than me.
Not to hear Donna talk. I'm not.
Oh, wow. I just noticed something.
Mm-hmm.
See the light on my wall back there?
Yeah.
I turned off the light I usually have on during the show. You see, I'm not quite as washed out.
Oh.
That is from my monitor back there.
Yeah. You
didn't have
you get a gigantic monitor. It's gonna light up your life.
Yeah. Yeah. 34-inch monitor.
Well, when you have a mostly white screen on it and it's putting out 100,000 lumens,
You'd be surprised how much of the screen we take up. It's nice and stretched out.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of white.
And not just the people in the show.
I'm stuck on the nice and stretched out comment still. I'm going to have me a nice little drink of water just to keep my mouth shut.
That's right. It's not the green room.
We never get too far from straying into green room territory here.
That's true.
It's pretty close.
Oh.
Where's Dawn tonight? She must be.
That I have not heard. Oh,
You said
Thesis.
something about going out to supper after Thesis' show.
No. He went and got supper and brought it to her, so she
Oh.
didn't have to leave. Lottie daw.
Swallow Joe.
I already did. We don't spit in this house.
Thesis. Punctuation. That did need a comment.
Yeah. Punctuation is very important.
I've been working on Aphelion today. My editor mode is on.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between helping your Uncle Jack off a horse and helping your Uncle Jack off a horse.
And I think I'll leave it up to Trey to swallow Joe.
Oh, Dan, I'm glad your computer's working again. At least.
Thank you.
Way to try and save the show, Carl.
Yeah, well, it didn't help much, but
I gotta leave the green room signs there where I can get back to them real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I like
thought I
Bladed's
I thought
comment.
I had a
Maybe
fourth one.
There's the
I was-
original. There's Carl's.
Yep.
There's Thesis's.
Yep.
What's the other one?
Someone I made for somebody else, and evidently I didn't upload it to StreamYard.
wow.
We must not show it very often because I can't remember it.
neither can I.
I gave it to somebody else. It was, like that one was
gift.
tailored for Uncle Carl. The one for Thesis was tailored for Thesis. The original was because it's the original.
Yep.
You made one for Nick, I think.
Did I?
I thought you did.
It's quite possible.
It would have to be it, yeah.
I've drank and slipped since then, but
What really is funny to me in an odd sort of way is that we used to have that drunken rant on Facebook, and then people said, "Oh, hey, we want to talk to you," and we turned it into a green room chat, and it's a rather private chat. Only certain people come to it, and then people who are on Nick's show in the morning will say something like "not the green room," and they've never even been there. They don't even know
they don't even know what it is.
But they've taken that as part of their vernacular now, and
It's part of the zeitgeist.
and they're like, "Oh, it's not the green room." I'm like,
Did I
"Okay,
say that word correctly?
yeah, you did.
Thank you. I'm not used to pronouncing things correctly.
Yeah, you got
I
it."
am from the South.
All right.
I-
What three?
I-
What? Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I did notice when I went to buy some beer today, I dropped into my very, very local accent to talk to the lady behind the counter. And I walked out of there and I'm going, Dan, that sounded very Jack Daniels right there. You almost went full redneck on that accent.
Gotta do what you gotta
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Thesis has got a new movie, which is wonderful.
Oh, okay.
I got it pulled up if you want to share it real quick.
Let me see if I
my.
can.
Oh
Yes.
my! There we go.
Public conversation, green room, straight!
That is great, Thesis.
Yeah, that does sound like something we would do.
The other night on the Historical Fencing Guild, Nick had said something about, everybody was behaving so well and everything in his chat there, and I wasn't there, but after the fact, I rewatched the show, and I told him, well, I kept all the reprobates in the green room so that you could have a good conversation in Historical Fencing Guild. You're welcome.
Hey, what are friends for?
Yeah. I basically, hey, you're nice, decent people. Go see the Historical Fencing Guild. Everybody else, follow me.
Yeah, really.
We're going over here.
And then you got me that's normally in both places at once.
Yeah. A couple people are.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think the one you created for him, Dan, was just a neon green background and then not the green room and kind of like a purplish hue.
Yeah.
Do you have that one?
I've got one that is in Chinese characters that I did for Thesis. Evidently, I have not uploaded it here yet, probably because Joe Dog has 50,000 copies of Animaniacs saying, "Good night, everybody."
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
And,
It's
yeah, well,
yeah. You do what you got to do.
I have frequently had to ask him to delete something so I could upload something to my channel, or delete something so I could upload something to the Stupid O'Clock channel. Uh, these things, they happen. I mean, if you had ops in Stupid O'Clock and you tried to go through and look and see, oh, here's a little video clip for a snappy comeback to something. It takes 30 minutes to scroll all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah.
I've got ops in Brian K. Morris's channel, and it was about the same sort of deal.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
what is all this stuff?
That's the way I feel sometimes looking at Nick's brand, because he's got all the different little images and
Mm-hmm.
he's got far more ads uploaded than I do. Mine is the music section, because I have anywhere from 3 to 4 of Dan's albums uploaded, and I did the smart thing. I have them all, each album is together.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I did was I put the album covers in the order that the albums are in the music section.
Excellent.
Which is why sometimes you'll hear me, after I say which album I'm going to play, I'm like, okay, wait a second, I got to scroll back up. Okay, that's the third one down, so I got.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's-
That's better than I do for the MP3s on my own computer. I just read the file names. DH1 for album 1, song title, and the track number. Well, track number and then the song title, so it keeps them in order. And that's the best I can do. I mean, it was so dark. There were so many.
and I just put the lists in a folder, and then I put it on a thumb drive. And I know the songs are named correctly on my computer, but when I play them in the van,
Mm-hmm.
the names will switch. It stays in the same group. Like Dr. Hook. Oh, Jesse is on the thing, but it comes up with When You're in Love with a Beautiful Woman.
I've noticed that on a couple of albums we have ripped before, that it doesn't keep the title, or it doesn't keep the title right when you switch it to a different player, perhaps.
Well, it keeps it right on the computer.
Right.
When I'm playing it on the computer, so I don't know.
Yeah.
You pull
Sorry,
over
folks,
the
it
thumb drive.
looked a little odd there for a second. I was
Hi,
looking
Ray.
out. I was looking out the window, and either somebody has got a pickup truck full of Roman candles, setting them off, or somebody just bought themselves a new machine gun.
Oh,
I can't tell; they're too far away.
wow.
I thought you might have been
And,
finally getting to see this outside.
Oh no! I can tell thunder from gunfire. Believe me. Hello, Ryan. How you doing?
Hey, Ryan.
Carl, did you see that Thesis shared his meme on Facebook? That would be a great one for when you announce the green room.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Hey.
And he did it on his
Definitely.
phone while he's walking the dog. Talented boy.
Definitely. Although I'm not going to call him a boy because he can probably rake me over the coals anytime.
Hey, Kiri.
Hey, Kiri.
Hey, we got
and
Thomas
Rob.
that car.
Hey,
Hey, Kiri. Hey, Rob.
hey, look
How
what
you
I've been.
doing?
Look what I've been starting to read.
Oh yeah, told you.
Yeah.
It's some good stuff, isn't it?
I just started it, so I can't.
Well, I can't get too far through it because I've got too much other stuff to be dragging my attention away from what I want to be doing.
Mm-hmm. Every time I start reading something, somebody will start a show or something or other. I don't know.
I wish I had more time to read.
I know.
Something other than
I have
something
not
other
been
than
able to
computer
read
manuals.
steadily since I retired.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a Kindle full of stuff here,
Yeah.
and I'm still in the middle of hell. I'm not even halfway through Nick's book, and I haven't even started on the sword fighting and simple spear and
Mm.
I'm just trying to read the Haints and Hellfire. But
Yeah.
I tell you, I take it with me every time I go someplace where I know I'm gonna have to wait,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're trying to read? We'll expedite you to the front of the line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Where was this 20 years ago when I had to sit in line for 3 hours and I was able to get through Dune as if it were a short story? Um,
I know. I used to read all the time at work because there would be times when nobody was having any issues, and I'd be like, "Okay, cool. I'm just gonna sit
hey,
here and read until somebody emails me," and got a lot done. But now it's always something.
well, I could always read during break time,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd just be sitting there going through whatever on the iPad, finishing up this book, finishing up that book. All was well and good. Somebody'd say something stupid
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah, yeah.
one of the booths in the break
Acceptable.
room, and I couldn't stop myself. I
Mm-hmm.
really couldn't stop myself. But I came out with a Danism right then without looking up from the book, without scrolling to for the next page, without stopping, lifting the uh, eating utensil to my mouth, and had people falling out of the chairs around the other break room tables because I had just had this reputation of being just so quiet and reserved and never interacted with people, and then they'd say something that I could not ignore as much as I tried, and boom, there it was, and I'd still be back there scrolling and eating, and it just we had one fellow that claimed I was the best comedian in the building.
Oh, nice.
And I had another fellow that I couldn't even say something serious without him laughing. He thought everything I was going to say was part of a joke.
Well, I kind of train my coworkers to just assume that most of the time that if I open my mouth, it's going to be funny. And I had one gal that she worked in our Springfield office. She said she could see the twinkle in my eye just before I let loose one. I knew you were going to say something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, Thesis would be reading more of our books, but he's poor.
Understand.
Yes, that is an acceptable excuse, and Rob says Danisms aren't legal in his county. Yeah, well, that's why I live where I do. They're not legal here, but nobody knows I can do it. Uh,
Did you see the latest Atomic Snack Bar episode?
Last night's? Yes, I did. I
Uh,
absolutely loved it.
I made a comment that Mars is always using, robots and things to help in their attacks against the Earth. And we're just using robots to basically replace auto workers and cafeteria folks. No wonder, it's a wonder that Mars hasn't taken over already or something.
Hey! If Mars can run the cafeterias better,
And the robots are better at, fighting. So, they should be able to take over, but obviously not.
hey, my comment to
Hello. Oh, hi.
my comment there was that I had actually read the short story for the Twonky,
Hmm.
and in prose, it is much more disturbing
Uh-huh.
than the film version was.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, seriously, you got the feeling that whoever put that thing there was somebody really evil,
Uh-oh.
or at least somebody who was not conversant with normal human peccadillos.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he explains it in the book. Okay, good.
Oh, why Mars uses robots? Yeah,
I'll
okay.
keep reading then.
Okay, I'll keep reading anyway. I've got it sitting right here.
Mm-hmm.
Just when the house stops falling apart, maybe I'll have more time.
I just had a cat run underneath here wanting to pet
Was
it.
that Charco?
Yeah, and then she walked out. Like, okay, I got enough. Thanks. Nah, I'm full. Thanks.
He was just in here. If you saw me doing this bit,
Uh-huh.
yeah. And Don is puzzling with Ted. Is that what the kids are calling it these days?
It's like a jigsaw. You gotta fit the pieces together.
In my day, we didn't need special equipment.
You didn't say they were using special equipment.
Hey,
Sometimes, knee pads and some eye protection are a pretty good idea.
You weren't supposed to mention that.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, Lord.
reminds me of when somebody was trying to auction off their grandmother's exercise equipment from Granny's garage after Granny unfortunately passed.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just looking at that and going, am I a bad person because I know exactly what all this stuff is and why there are straps everywhere?
So she wouldn't fall out. Yeah.
Well, I imagine it was good exercise. We got this one right here. There you go.
Well, I brush it and I use Donna's conditioner that she's got stuck in the shower because it's a huge bottle and it'll never run out if we don't both use it. So
It's expensive hair repair conditioner.
I shouldn't be using it on my beard.
Oh no, you should use it on your beard. Your beard feels much nicer now. It's just you need to buy the next bottle.
Okay, there goes the budget to even division. Donna buys the booze. Carl buys the hair conditioner. Both of them buy the cigars. Still need to send me a character's introduction from my shifter story. Okay. I hate to interfere more than just punctuation and whatnot with the writer's work, but yeah, if you want me to advise you on what I actually am in real life, I would say you've been in the green room, haven't you? We shall see. Yes. Okay. And from what I recall of the first read through of Thesis's story that's going to come out tomorrow night on Aphelion, I didn't need to do much editing at all.
Ooh, they're good.
Hey, that is always the last year and a half. the submissions people have been sending me have not needed much more than um yeah um that should be a full stop there, and the next phrase should be a complete sentence on its own. Otherwise, it's a run-on sentence. And not much else.
Donna, remind me not to send Dan anything because I'm from the Douglas Adams school of writing where the whole page is one sentence because I think it's funny.
Whatever happened to your newspaper training?
I use that for regular writing, but when I'm writing certain
He
things,
discovered porcelain, dear. He doesn't have to use newspapers anymore. Oh, Lord. Well, that blew my monetization, didn't it?
Yeah. So you were talking of cigars.
mm-hmm.
This one happens to be a Gurkha Governor. Very expensive cigar. I rarely buy them. Oh, I also have this in a tube. This is usually a $10 a stick cigar. Cigars International made me an offer I could not refuse. You got to pick 5 packs, 5 cigars in each pack, $84. That's less than $4 a cigar.
That's a hell of a deal.
Yeah.
Plus,
Definitely.
I got a 20 cigar travel case and a little something I'm gonna offer to somebody who's going to Hallowcon this year. I haven't decided which one it'd be yet.
Uh-oh. They always include little tools or something in there. So
Yeah, I got a Gurkha knife with it. Little folding. It's when it's folded, it's that big.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Oh, remind me to stay on your good side.
I don't keep folding knives because I have trouble folding them back up
mm-hmm.
and hurting myself.
This particular knife, you have to pull something back and then fold it over, and you have to fold it towards your finger. And I'm like, you can't keep this knife, Donna. Sorry. She's not even allowed to cut things at home. I'm like, here, give me that knife. Thank you. Thank you.
So I'm going to give it to a friend. I haven't decided which one yet.
Yeah.
Well, remember, I do like sharp, pointy things.
Yeah, see,
I'm of the school of run-ons and sentences are A-okay if stylish and conversational. Yes, in quotation marks, if it's dialogue, you can get away with damn near anything because that's the way that character is talking. It doesn't have to be correct in English. It doesn't have to be even complete words. And believe me, I've done enough dialect over the years. See the old Dan story if you want to see what that looks like in print.
I guess I read so much Douglas Adams and Kurt Vonnegut and maybe some Kafka that made me think that it's hilarious to just keep the sentence going as long as you possibly can for humoring, humor.
Yeah. Hey, Jules Verne used to use it just for, it was part of the story. A sentence might run on for 3 pages and end in a question mark.
Yeah.
That story is this show's fault. Dan mentioned wanting to read a story but not wanting to write it, so I made the mistake of saying he would do it, and Donna said, "Do it," so I did. Yeah, you're gonna love this.
See,
Okay, you can
Donna,
have the cookie thesis.
Donna is good at giving you a suggestion and then like leaving it in your court. And you're like, oh, maybe I'll do that. And then she doesn't have to do it. So
That's right.
Yeah. That's somehow okay. So I made the Munsey theme for the Munsey show.
Mhm.
Dawn's gonna do a new show. And she was saying something about wanting a serious introduction. And she said, "Are you gonna help me do it?" Yeah, if you want me to help you, I'll do it. But he said, but I wanted something a little more professional. And I said, "Oh, so you don't want a funny song or a chicken?" Because in Nick's show, he has that picture of the chicken. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because hey, I got to throw my humor in somehow.
We need to redo that with a picture of him holding one of the cats, because that seems to be the guest or two most of the time now.
Yeah, that's what I get.
Oh, I think I threatened to do her an intro theme, and
Mhm.
here's thesis. I threatened to do her an intro theme
Thesis.
that began with one of Carl's train wreck videos.
Oh, so that's why she asked me to do it.
Yeah, she didn't at all. So
You're like, okay, cross Dan off the list. I guess
yeah,
we're down to fucking Carl now. Jeez, okay.
can't have anything from the composer. We've got to have something from the comedian.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah, I keep opening my mouth and warning people. We got to stop doing everything Donna tells us. I'm on my fourth pyramid scheme.
Nope.
Yeah, was it the Amway or was it essential oils? Which one got it?
Oh
No. It was the toys.
Oh, the toys. Okay. Oh, the adult toys.
I only said toys.
Okay.
I don't want to get Dan and Joel.
Matchbox cars can be adult toys too.
definitely. We
By
know
the way,
somebody that runs conventions and their own network that is quite fond of Matchbox cars.
But by the way, if you do need some Amway products, I may have a whole stack in the garage. Thanks, Donna.
Hey, how do you think I afford my cigars?
I know. Dang it.
No, I thought it was more like, hey, give me money or I'll send Guido out to have a long talk with you.
No, she just makes you part of her
No.
downlink community or whatever they call that when they build the pyramid.
I learned neural programming from
Donna Tech.
Oh, I'm glad we never had Rails to start with. Thesis, say something and save us from ourselves.
Oh, you want me to save everyone? That's
Hey.
that's an entertaining idea.
We don't call D'Artagnan just because he's cute.
We don't.
Well, excuse me.
4 out of the 5 people here might not. And I said might. I don't judge anybody else, but
Shall we bring up a certain Benny's cigar vendor?
Oh my gosh.
I got to hear this.
Oh, you heard the story, didn't you, about Don and I and the Benny's humidor?
Oh yes, I remember now. Yeah.
Yeah.
have a good night, Rob.
Rob's going to have to
You,
run.
Rob.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Yeah,
And keep the videos coming, my friend. Everything you do is so entertaining. And believe me, I'm not smart enough to be able to duplicate anything you've done.
I had comment on one of the ads he ran because it had doctors that were smoking cigarettes and all. And I said, my doctor would have never touched a cigarette. He was a cigar man like me. So, yeah.
Oh.
My grandmother drank and smoked for years, had a mini stroke, and the doctor, when he was looking at her chart the one day, looked at everything and went, Gladys, you're healthier than I am somehow.
Mm-hmm.
My maternal grandmother dipped snuff all of her life, raised 7 children during the Great Depression, World War II, living in a Kentucky coal mining community, and was well over 100 when she finally decided she was tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And never spent a day in a nursing home.
Yeah.
Of course, one of her daughters was a nurse and lived next door, but
That helps.
That helps.
If you're going to need somebody in a profession, raise them that way, and make sure they don't move far away.
I always thought, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's not funny, because my parents call me for every computer-related IT thing they ever want, and some of them are so monumentally stupid and easy that I'm just like, you could have done this yourself.
Yeah. My mom is so good at screwing up a computer that I can't fix it.
A couple months ago, we had a planned power outage for the entire town. They were doing some, I don't know, and my parents' entire house, smart stuff. They have a thermostat, and they have and it's all connected to Wi-Fi. So the power goes out. It was in, I want to say early March. It was still kind of cold. And my dad called me at like 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, the day of my cousin's wedding, to have me come over and reset his modem. There's a fucking button on the back of the modem. You just press it and it resets everything. That's it. And the heat was running.
Probably more an excuse to see you than it was to, That's why I never got my mother a computer, because she would have couldn't call me over there all the time.
It's bad enough with your brother calling you all the time about his.
Well, he doesn't even have one that's working right now. He's like thinking about buying one, but he still hasn't bought it. And what's this been? 3 years now?
I
He's been thinking about buying one?
I did.
Because my siblings live miles and in one case states away. So if they want my help, it's like, you want to pay for a plane ticket for me to fly down there and show you how easy this shit is? Because you don't want me to pay for me to fly to Texas to save your dumb ass because you bought a piece of crap with Norton antivirus on it and completely demolished your entire operating system.
Yeah.
We used a program. We used a program at work that gave us remote control over computers that were far away. And when my brother finally gets his computer, that program is going on his computer, and I will set up the password so I can get into it at any time, and I can fix it from here and not have to even move, because I know what's going to happen.
Well, the hard part is going to be trying to keep him from getting links from Steve.
Oh.
Well, there's one good thing about his ex-wife and his son not talking to him very often, and that is he would lend let them use his computer,
Mm-hmm.
and then Carl would have to go off and clean all the viruses off of them because they were on shifty websites and downloading shifty stuff.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Say, oh, I see your ex was on LimeWire again, or whatever. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, nice, okay.
My
Yeah, I'll clean
brother
them.
lost access to his Facebook account somehow because of going to adult websites.
Hmm. Okay.
And my sister-in-law and their son came down here for something. I don't remember what it was now. And then we went out to lunch the next day, and he was on his phone the whole time,
Hmm.
scrolling, and I like to call it gophering. He just, what the hell are you doing? And he's like, I can't access my Facebook. Okay, why? Well, because someone got my password, and now they're taking access to my Facebook account, and they're changing everything, and they changed the password, and they changed the phone number, so I can't get the new password. I'm like, settle down. Send an email to Facebook support.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably going to ask to see your driver's license because they want to make sure it's you. And he's, well, that's a lot of work. I'm like, yeah, what else are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they said they'll give me back access if I pay them. I'm like, don't you pay them a damn dime.
No.
God,
Jeez.
what are you doing?
Run down to the one ATM that will give you Bitcoin or Target gift cards or something.
Gift cards?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not that much. It's only like $500. I'm like, you
Holy
dickhead, pay me the
moly.
money, I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Give me the money and I'll send an email and get it back to you.
Yeah, I had some people try and friend me on Facebook, and I'm going, oh, aren't we already friends on Facebook? And they got to me on Messenger, says, hey, I really need some money right now for this, that, or the other thing, and if you'll just go down to the store and buy a bunch of Best Buy gift cards or whatever, and send me the numbers so I can, and I'm going, really?
Yeah. You
First
didn't
off,
offer that?
you've
Nope.
been dead for 5 years.
Yeah. I didn't know they give
Well,
accounts to dead people anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got a message one time. Somebody managed to hack into my uncle's Facebook account, and my aunt had never set it up as one of the memorial accounts.
Memorial accounts, yes.
So I'm laying there in bed one night, and I'm scrolling through videos, and all of a sudden, get a little notification from Facebook Messenger from William Gross. I shouldn't be getting anything from that one. Unless it's my aunt finally going in and trying to turn it into a memorial account.
Mm-hmm.
I click on it and, hey, how have you been? I've been doing pretty well. I said, oh, you must be. I didn't realize they had Wi-Fi down in hell.
Yeah.
Never got a
they're
response
getting,
back
they're
after
getting
that.
Wi-Fi in all the supernatural realms are getting Wi-Fi now, didn't you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they have to. All the lawyers are there. Sorry, Richie.
Hey, he's not a lawyer. He just does IT for lawyers.
I know. He's going to have to fix their computers after they serve porn sites and get a virus.
They do have They do have Wi-Fi in hell, but it's the same kind that Nick has, whatever that is.
It's America Online.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I thought it was dial-up.
They have to keep recycling those little free CDs that we got mailed 100,000 of.
So
Do you know
back when
how many people used to have those as mobiles in their homes, right
They were
above the
pretty.
hookah? Um,
now this is gonna hurt Carl
Mm-hmm.
hearing this most likely, and probably a few others in the room. But when I was in high school, me, one of my other classmates, and the technology director had to go to the superintendent's office to help switch them over to a new network. They were actually getting high-speed internet in the portion of the building that they were in.
Okay.
The superintendent, the truancy officer, and the secretary all had an internet connection they shared. A dial-up internet connection. They had a dial-up router
Wow.
to share a 56K connection.
That takes me back.
I saw that, and I looked at the superintendent, who used to be, he was the principal at my high school. I looked right at him. I said, "Well, now I understand why you're at our school half the time. Somehow we actually have better internet than you." He goes, "Yeah, I don't get it. I'm in downtown LaPorte, and they didn't have this area wired for high speed in this building."
You're not going to get high speed off a dial.
No. Yeah.
Not even the NSA can make that work.
Yeah.
Well, that's like after, we had Wi-Fi. I'm at the doctor's office, and I hear this familiar sound. Like,
A robot being sacrificed in the background?
Yep. Doctor's office still had dial-up. Really? Well, shoot. When I met Carl, his office still had rotary phones.
Oh, yeah.
With all that long distance. And I'm going, I have personally had push-button phones for 4 or 5 years by then, but the state still had rotary.
Oh, yeah. Our state, even when we got the fast internet, it was some sort of fractional T1 or something. And I was like, can I work from home? I have faster internet at home. I have a better computer at home. I got a better printer at home. Can I work from home? No. Someone else would complain. It would be a union issue. I'm like, no, it won't. Most of the people here would probably be glad I was not in the building.
There'd be less union issues.
Oh, yeah.
I was at a party at some very good friends of mine back in the 70s. And one of the guests said, "Hey, can I use your phone?" And they said, "Sure, go right ahead, as long as it's not a long distance call." And I go, no problem. She walked up to the phone, and they still had a dial phone. And she just looks at it and hangs the headpiece back up in the cradle and goes, "Cognitive dissonance. I don't know how to use one of these."
One of my cousins on my mom's side has a cabin up in northern Wisconsin, and got it over 20 years ago since I've been up there at that cabin. But they had that area of Wisconsin still had pulse dialing. And so the phones were all rotary. It was such an old phone plan, there was no long distance.
Whoa.
So
Good
to make a
Lord.
long distance call, you had to buy a phone card. Phone cards aren't able to use pulse dialing.
No.
Oh dear.
So you had to pick up one phone, dial the 800 number on the back of the card, go across the cabin to another room, pick up the only push button phone that was in the whole place, because that was the only thing it was used for, type in your little code off the back of the card and what phone number you wanted to dial. And then as soon as it started ringing, you could hang up that phone and go back to the other one.
Wow.
Yeah.
I used to have one that had a switch on it where you could go from push button to pulse.
I had a cordless phone that had that.
Mm-hmm.
They still had where you could switch between the two, because it was still a relevant thing back then.
Yeah, and they didn't know where they were going to sell that phone in what part of the country, so you had to have it work.
You had to have it for both.
Yeah.
I mean, where I grew up in Wanata, up until it was probably 2 years before we moved from Wanata, all I had to know was the last 4 digits of your phone number in town.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We still had the 4-digit dialing.
Yeah.
Yeah. My aunt, God love her, the phone company was trying to get her to change phone plans for years. The phone company was trying to get my great-grandmother to change phone plans for years before she had passed. My aunt did the smart thing, never took the phone bill out of my great-grandmother's name when she passed.
Ooh, nice.
He was still paying for an old party line.
Oh God, yes. I remember those.
I imagine that was a lot cheaper than what they wanted to sell it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I remember in '84 when I finally moved out of the folks' house and into my own place. I got one of those fancy new push-button phones.
Mm-hmm.
But I still had my 2 French phones, which, of course, are rotary. And you had to pay extra in order to have the push-button on your bill with your regular rotary phone.
Yeah, for a while there. And then when I worked at Radio Shack, well, the first time I worked at Radio Shack, when I was going through college, we sold a little box. And that little box made the DMTD, I think were the letters. It made those boop, 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 boop. So even if you were on a rotary phone, like you were talking about, Joe, you could, once you got to that thing, you could program this to play your AT&T long distance card tones, and it would play them out over the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Instead of having to go to another phone. So
I remember reading about some of the early hackers,
DMTS,
and that they would actually have a little digital recorder of the touch tone tones for phone numbers, and they knew how to get. They could walk up to a payphone, not put any money in it, just get a dial tone, and play the recording into the microphone, and it would dial whatever phone number they were trying to get to. And this was way back in the day.
Yeah, there was a number that the phone company people would use. It was a 3-digit number. I don't know if it was 611 or what it was, but you could dial that, and then it would get you to an open line. And then they would use that to test the phone. So when they come out to your house, and they would dial that to test, hey, is your phone working or not? And then they could dial any number from there, and it wouldn't charge to your home because it was a phone company test. And once those hackers figured out that little code, they could do that and boop, play the tones and get anything they wanted.
Yep.
Hey, Grant.
Hey, Grant. How you doing?
Hey, Grant.
Hey, Grant.
They used to also have the Captain Crunch whistle.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
That came in Captain Crunch, and they could play that too. That opened up a long distance line, I guess.
It was something. I don't remember the exact details, but yeah.
And one of the major phone hackers of that time, they called him Captain Crunch because he was the first one to figure that out and was sharing the secret with everybody.
Grant has a story here which I would like to see written up as a comic, but had a good evening, hung out with BKM. Drank a lot. Isn't he a card? I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I love beer. No, you shouldn't say because excuse me. What do you think this is?
Oh,
No, yeah, but Grant's just a youngin'.
Okay, I got grandchildren older than him, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
he was out with a very bad influence.
We know. We've been out with him.
Yeah,
I would just shorten that to BKM as an influence.
yeah, yeah. You talk about influencers and just influences. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And went out to a brewery where all the beer was delicious. Well, that's rare. I've been to a few where all the beer was, my God, if I wanted to drink embalming fluid.
Yeah. I've had some like that.
Oh, there's some things that people around here just absolutely love, and I go, no. Chemicals. There are too many chemicals here. There's not enough water. There's not enough hops. There's not enough anything except chemicals. I mean, this tastes like somebody put a. Okay, I'm glad I stopped myself.
Yeah.
This would have ended badly, believe me.
Anyway,
a feminine hygiene product in something that was used for illicit substances, and thought it was the best thing ever. So
that did it.
Angie went to bed, he says. Yeah, well,
yeah.
You hang out with BKM, surprised you're not either in bed or asking for bail money.
yeah.
Brian is a hero that way. Now we got to work on trying to get Grant to show up at Hallowcon.
At least you're not passed out in a snowdrift.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
Actually,
no, that's relevant here. Jody show he's having trouble with. I saw an announcement that they were establishing a new YouTube channel for Jody McPhee's show. Yeah. I wondered if they had run astray of something, or if they had gotten a little too green room on their show.
No. It had nothing to do with YouTube. His channel was somehow through his college that he went to.
Well, you have to give YouTube your email.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And YouTube ties it to your email. Okay. Well, he had signed up for multiple accounts. You know, he used Gmail for one and maybe Yahoo for another one. And he used his alma mater email. Okay. His college had a tradition that they just let you have email for life once you were a student there, which is probably the only college in the world that would do such a thing. It
was private, though, he pointed out, and now it's gone public.
It was a private school, went public. But, he had that email for 20 years. He'd used it, and he assigned that so he could use that email for that, for that particular channel, and his other email for another channel. And his alma mater said, "No, we're cutting off everybody who's graduated." Boom. And so when he went to go check his YouTube, he had no YouTube. All the videos are gone.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Of course, he didn't have copies of them because they're on YouTube. Why would you make copies of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
if you're using StreamYard for streaming, you only got a limited amount of space.
yeah. So I pulled some of them back from StreamYard, and he's got those back on his channel, the ones he did like in the last month or so. But yeah, he lost so many videos.
Yeah.
So don't use your college email, people. Don't try to pull something with YouTube by using multiple emails to get multiple accounts, unless you own all of those emails somehow.
Yeah.
Because you don't know. I mean, even AOL will eventually stop doing email when they realize, how much money they're spending.
Angie's a morning person. It's a curse that morning people always marry night people.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it works out that way.
Yeah. I got to go to bed soon because I got to go get up in the morning and go shopping.
My wife is neither a morning person or a night person, yet she got stuck with a night person.
My wife got stuck with a swing shift person.
Oh, yeah.
And now that I'm retired, I'm going, hey, sleeping till noon is fun.
Back when we lived at the other house, after I quit working, he'd be waking up and I'd be going, night. Because I'd stayed up all night with my buds on AOL.
Hey, there's been plenty of times when I have gone to bed and Lindsay just rolls over and gives me a smooch and says, hey, sorry, I got to get up and go feed the cats now. It's 6 a.m. I'm going, really? Okay, at least I didn't sleep in the chair all night.
Yeah.
And Grant says, a moment tonight when he looked over at Angie and thought he was the luckiest guy in the world for marrying a girl who will put up with the nerdiness. When you can find someone that puts up with whatever your individual idiosyncrasies are, that's a keeper right there.
Dude.
Yeah, and Donna said it more succinctly than I did. You're both pretty lucky to have found each other. Yes, indeed. Yep. And that goes for everybody. I think I should just put a full stop after that. That goes for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm very glad not to be dating anymore.
Oh, God. No, thank you.
I was never very good at that anyway.
I was really good at that.
I would just have to give them a checklist. Here, take this little exam. If you pass, I'll look at you.
This is your dating application. Fill this out in triplicate and get back to me next week.
Exactly.
Are you a narcissistic sociopath?
Yeah.
Exactly. If you check yes, don't bother to check any of the rest of the forms.
Yeah, you're done.
You're done. Bye-bye.
You can stop here. Thank you.
You have, violent tendencies and severe jealousy issues.
Exactly.
Please move.
You robot.
Yes, please move, preferably to the surface of the sun.
Yes.
Give
Well,
you a foretaste of where you're eventually going.
I'm going to let you continue chatting. I'm going to go off now and go to bed, make this cat happy over here.
Good night, girl.
Night,
Hey,
everybody.
Carl.
Good night, Carl.
Good night.
Lucky that you found the only girl. Well, whoa, something. There you go. Lucky that you found the only girl in the world who finds my weird awkwardness charming. You would be surprised at how often that happens these days.
What these days? I found mine in the bar 37 years ago, 38 years ago. Good
Yeah,
month.
but he was an early bloomer.
Yeah, he was hitting on the wrong girl too.
That often happens.
Uh-huh.
We're men. We do make
Of course,
mistakes occasionally.
in my case, I wonder if it wouldn't have turned out better if. Okay, I should preface this by saying I'm talking about my ex-fiance.
Yes.
I was originally talking and flirting with her younger sister, and then she came into the picture, and that was kind of the end of that
I don't need
conversation
this
with
Can you
the
find your
younger
way
sister.
in the dark?
So I wonder if it would have turned out better if I would have hooked up with the younger sister.
Believe me, Thesis, the genetics were there. It could have been better, could have been worse. You never know.
Yeah.
Oh, Grant, you are looking for a world of airfares, basically. Yeah, but we
You just
would
need
be
to find
very,
like
very.
a central location in the middle of the country that everyone can get to, and just have a big convention with everyone.
That's
Yeah,
called Illinois.
No, there was a
That's not central.
there was a
You don't want
sci-fi
to go to
writer.
Missouri.
Yeah.
So that
Again.
means Illinois.
There was a sci-fi writer that had very libertarian views and wrote very excellent aliens as well as other characters. And he decided that the United States moved their capital to the exact center of the continental United States, somewhere around Kansas City, I do believe. And the premise was we're going to make it equally inconvenient for everybody.
Everyone.
So you wanted to get a law passed, you had to go all the way out there and stay there till you got enough votes to get it proposed, and then stay there even longer to get enough people to come in and go, have we got a quorum yet? And dueling was still legal, so if your proposed amendment was annoying enough, somebody could just shoot you, and that'd be the end of it. I like that
God,
guy.
can we reinstate that?
I challenge you to do this.
Yeah, well,
But you must do it with the slap with the glove,
didn't have to. It could be throwing soup at somebody in a restaurant.
I'd rather slap him
Yeah.
with the glove.
Whatever floats your boat. It was in the rules. You could just say
don't
so,
mention it.
or you could just kind of stand up and throw your overcoat off and whip out your
Rapier?
grenade launcher or whatever.
No, Carl won't let me have one.
Carl's not the only
I
one.
can why.
I wanted a
Don't tell them that
paintball
the
gun.
glove you're slapping is a metal gun.
I wanted a paintball gun, but he's like, no, because there'd be at least one person here in Danville who would be getting paint all over him every time I saw the little SOB.
At least one.
At least one. There's always one.
So would his political posters.
Oh. I have the most amazing friends. And I'm not even Spider-Man.
I just worry that if we got everyone into one central location like that, I don't know if the country could handle the unbridled awesomeness in that one location, and the entire country would just implode.
Thesis and Nick would rule the world in a world where dueling is legal. Grant, I believe there's one or two of us that might have a.
I was going to say, it's been a while.
Shall we say a decent shot, depending on.
Oh yeah.
if we were restricted to. Well, not picking things ahead of time. Yeah, I'm going to use this 357. Hey, I'm going to use this ICBM. Let's see who gets who.
Why you always make sure that you're the one issuing the challenge, because the challenger always gets to pick the weapon.
I thought it was the challenge that got to pick the weapons.
Is it?
I think so.
It depends on whether or not it's French or Italian.
Ah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, when I was in fencing classes, they wouldn't let us use Italian foils because the hand grip was different, and it made it much easier to parry because it was much more anatomically sensible. The Italian foils, you had to lay the pommel out on your wrist and put your two dominant fingers through rings on either side of the hand grip inside the bill. So the wrist movements were much more subtle and much easier.
Yeah.
Which makes me think the guys that designed the rules for Italian fencing were old guys. I mean, seriously, they were tired of the swashbuckling slam stuff. They're just going, oh, yeah, pink, gotcha,
poke,
poke. Yeah.
I just had a vision of a very interesting sword bout.
Oh,
Nick in his prime, bladed in his prime, and Trey in her prime.
Oh, that would be fun.
Sorry guys, my money's on Trey.
Yeah.
Nick and
I
Thesis,
will not argue that at all.
Nick and Thesis might be handicapped by being honorable. Trey will kill you.
This is true. This is true. Still be fun to take part in that.
Oh yeah.
Hey, it'd be great exercise if nothing else.
Well, my fencing partner was not honorable. I took several blades to the helmet. And you know what? I know where the term he rang my bell came from, because you clang a metal sword up against a metal helmet and you do hear bells.
Kabong is not out of the possibilities.
And I'm like, his name was Robin, and he was about to hear on me. little guy. And
Ooh,
I'm
that
like,
gives him an advantage.
especially when he kept telling me, go for the body. You go for the body. When he's training me, so I'm going for the body. The next thing I know, bang. Uh, aren't we fighting under the same rules here, boy?
No,
that's
Nope.
why
I'm
in
fighting to win. You're fighting because I trained you.
that's why in one of the videos that we showed Friday during Historical Fencing Guild, you saw Nick and Trey go over and grab their masks. Because at first they were fighting without masks. And then they decided to, up it a little bit more and figured it'd probably be best to do the wise thing and throw the mask on for safety. Because neither one has a problem with going for the headshot.
Yeah, we had
And
to.
she used to be good enough with the foil to do a headshot, if you will, and check to see if you were wearing a cup.
And
Oh,
thankfully,
no,
they
thank
had
you.
cups built into the
Whew.
padding jacket for my fencing class. You, it wasn't an option. If you had it fastened, you had a cup, and you had the mask. And believe me, there was one time I was just about to bring it up. There's one time I stopped a fencing class cold. I mean, people were just about to go at it, and one of them had just broken the safety tip off the foil.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yep, I was the only one that noticed. The teacher didn't notice. And I screamed bloody murder, and everybody just stood there and looked at me, and I go, "Swords broke."
Whoa.
I got bonus points for that class.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not only did I save the entire college insurance money, but
A lot of insurance money.
yes, but I managed to keep the teacher from being embarrassed at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wearing glasses at the time. It was a little difficult buying glasses that were narrow enough to fit inside a fencing mask, but then I also bought I also bought glasses with narrow enough frames to fit inside a motorcycle helmet, so I'm not unused to dealing with my particular handicaps.
Yeah.
I realize I'm not wearing glasses right now, but I'm looking at a camera, at a screen, just barely out of arm's reach, and everybody's in focus. Um, Grant, I do not understand what you meant by that line, but I'm not putting it up on screen. Yes,
We
Lisa's
saw it.
right. You're not wrong. Um,
Not wrong at
Yeah.
all.
no, but if you're on a date and you hear the words "on guard," I do believe you're in for an interesting experience.
That would be a guaranteed second date for me. Just in the middle of the date and she stands up and pulls out a sword and starts dueling with me in the restaurant. Hell yeah, let's go. Let's go. I'm ready.
Hey, that's very Adam's Family, which is one of the most romantic couples that's ever been portrayed in movie and TV
That's
history.
Mm-hmm.
You can have your Bella and Edward and all that other bullshit. I will take my Gomez and Morticia.
Yes.
Or Rick O'Connell and Evie from The Mummy. That's good too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Antonio Banderas and what's her
Anybody?
name?
Oh.
Anybody? Yeah.
Catherine.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Thank you.
Yep.
I could not remember her name. I remember every curve on her, but I do not remember her name half the time. Hey,
the
I
dueling scene
concentrate
between
on the
two of them and
important
the tails.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, there are two romantic couples on what was it, 60 CV, that really were entirely admirable, and it was Gomez and Morticia, and it was Herman and Lily,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
and they
Yep.
they were not anywhere near the same, but they were. Uh, they covered a lot of territory in that.
Mm-hmm.
You goofy idiot, I love you no matter how much you fuck up, and oh, you're hot.
uh, yes.
And it took me way longer than it should have to realize that the judge from My Cousin Vinny and the guy from the Munsters was the same person.
Oh, um,
Yeah.
Way longer than it
there,
should have.
there is another movie he was in where uh, uh, Fred Gwynn was one of the bad guys, and still very comedic.
Hmm.
It's called Murder by the Book. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
the main star is the fellow from the airplane movies, whose name escapes
Uh-huh.
me at the moment.
I couldn't watch it until you said that.
Yeah, not
Leslie.
Nielsen, but the other dude, right?
Oh, the
Yeah,
other dude.
yeah, Robert something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was also the
Yeah.
voice of Iron Man in a couple of the animated series.
Oh,
Hmm.
Yes, uh, trivia you never knew you needed to know. Uh,
Yeah.
I recognize people a lot by their voices.
Yeah.
Um,
Robert Stack. No, not Robert Stack. Robert Hayes.
Robert Hayes, yes, indeed. Great comedic timing. But basically, he was a mystery writer who was slightly schizophrenic and wanted to do a brand new mystery character because he was tired of his old character, who was basically noir. But his new character was basically Columbo.
Hmm.
And believe me, the noir character did not like it and was nagging him through the entire film about it.
He
I
was
just.
also in Pet Cemetery.
Yes,
Hmm.
he was the groundskeeper, wasn't he? Fred Gwynn.
I would have to look it up, I think.
I do not know because I do not watch horror movies that often. I've lived enough of them. I don't have to watch them.
Well, yeah.
Uh, Joe Grant wants to know if you're doing a show on Monday, and you are doing the Behind the Code with the
Mm-hmm.
operating system, which should not be named.
yeah, I will be doing a show Monday night. It's going to be actual coding for the first time in a very long time, which is also what I'm kind of working on right now. I'm working through a few tutorials to A, kind of refresh my memory a bit, and B, trying to learn a new feature that I want to incorporate into my apps that I've been wanting to incorporate into my apps for a long time. And the more I keep working on this, the more I keep realizing I'm going to have to recreate my whole app But that's okay.
Hey, times have
Improvements are a
changed.
good thing.
The code may not have changed that much, but I'm sure there's been additions, improvements in
Oh yeah.
hurdles that have been added.
There's been a lot of change to Swift coding and everything, because when I created these apps, I want to say iOS 14 was the current operating system for iPhones, and they currently have the iOS 18 beta out.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Oh, and
So it's about
Grant,
2 months old then.
yeah, I think my iPad is up to 17 point something. Grant wants
Yep.
to mention that the Kickstarter is going very well. Yes,
That's good.
we have done our best to help. Thank you for
Can't really do
promoting
much
or supporting directly.
monetarily, but
Hey, just pointing people in that direction is
Is
help too.
helpful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not big on comic books anymore. I used to have a huge comic book collection up until my first wife decided to sell all my comic books,
I think.
and she got a dime a piece for them, and it was still a huge chunk of change. But I had stuff that had cover prices of 12 cents. I probably should have committed a criminal act, but I didn't.
yeah.
I did divorce her shortly afterwards, so that counts
No,
for
there
something.
you go.
Mm-hmm.
Come here.
Excuse me, there is either a dog or a cat scratching at the office door. Plus, I need to go down the hall for a minute, which means ignoring whatever animal is scratching at the door and hoping it's not.
Isn't it time for the cat's treats?
That the cat decides, not me.
No, that's what I'm saying. Isn't it time for the cat's treats?
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be the dog wanting to go outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Lindsay has gone to bed. So I will go off screen and check on that particular pressing emergency, and I'll be right back.
And we will be right here.
Yes, we will. Say hi to everybody, Cal. Say hi, Callie.
It's a kitty.
Yeah.
Hello, kitty.
Yeah. You put Daddy to bed, so now you come and get your cuddles from Mommy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Usually how it works, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they know they can't make me do anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to fight for my spot in bed when I go to bed. So
I used to have to do that, not so much anymore. Hoolie's old. She doesn't jump in bed anymore. She sleeps curled up on the side.
Thanks for coming by. Hoping a cat would visit him on his couch. Never can tell, Grant. They come when you least expect them.
There are many, many different ways that you can take that statement, and I'm going to go this way.
Not the green room.
Don't mean I can't think it.
Think whatever you want. And then whisper in my ear. Wonder if he's got his ear thing on.
I don't know.
I wonder if we can do recreate what happened one night when Dawn and I were in here.
I was here that night too.
Oh, tried several times since then, but
Yeah, he's a quick learner.
Probably learned his lesson. You know.
Yeah. Mute your headphones when you're going in there.
Mm-hmm. Well, he just learned to just take him off all the way. Oh, yeah, I actually had fun broadcasting on HFG last night.
Yeah,
Getting to talk about the fights and the various bouts and the camera falling over and videoing the grass for about 30 seconds.
That's better than for 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's true.
Exactly. That's why my tripod, which is right here, I don't use that.
Mm-hmm.
I have someone that films for me, so I don't have to worry about knocking shit over and filming the grass.
Well, and we didn't even have that. Like, we had a nice gentle breeze, and then just for about 5 minutes, the breeze picked up, knocked the camera over, so I had to stand there next to it. And then after that, I wasn't next to it again. It just stayed up.
Mm. Well, for mystery lovers, it was the dog. She's a very, very nice puppy.
It was the dog in the hallway with the candlestick. Oh.
She's a German Shepherd, so she is very bound and determined to herd both of us to bed at her chosen time. And I'm going, it ain't 3 a.m. yet. I ain't going to bed. Go snuggle mama.
I cannot go to bed before midnight my time. If I try, unless I'm deathly ill, if I try and go to bed before midnight, I'm up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and I can't go back to sleep. So I'm just like, I'll just stay up.
Yeah. I went to bed early last night and I was up at, well, I woke up at 5 and go,
nope.
No, this ain't cutting it. I managed to roll over and go back to sleep till 9. Then I managed to roll over on the other side and sleep till 10. Then I managed to roll back over and sleep till just about noon.
Really?
Hey, I'm retired. I don't have any responsibilities except to the people I love. So, and then Lindsay was off with the church group on a field trip today. So she left at about 8. And the dog just came back, jumped on the bed, snuggled up. Cat jumped on the bed, snuggled up. I'm going, why do I need to wake up? I got snuggles.
Yeah, see that's
I'm good to go.
With my sleep schedule as it is, I get about 7 hours of sleep because I will go to bed after midnight and I will still be up at 7 or 7:30 in the morning. Just because there's nothing really waking me up. It's just my brain's like, okay, the sun is up, time to go, get up.
Yeah. The other day when we had the 2 a.m. plumbing problem, and I got the water shut off to that particular pipe that caused the problem. I did not sleep very well at all after that.
Yeah.
And
I
I was
bet.
up very, very early to try and see what else I could do to straighten it out. And basically, what I could do to straighten it out was we got to empty the closet where the water heater is, and I've got to pull everything out. And uh, Lindsay's going, "Hey, shouldn't that piece of plywood dry out before we try and do anything else so it's not weak when you get the hand truck in there under the old water heater?" And I go,
Yep.
I just had a thought. What if I put it in the van, which is like a walk-in solar oven, and steam that water out of there? And I went to get some of the tools out of a toolbox in there today, and basically I opened the door, and it's a good thing I didn't have my glasses on because they just steamed up real quick. That water had been boiled out.
And the
And
wood didn't warp.
doesn't matter if it warped or not. It's inch and a quarter thick plywood.
Okay.
It'll do to go back down there and use to keep the old water heater from falling through the floor. And then I've got to remove the rest of the particle board and all the. Why does anybody put trim on the inside of a water heater closet? I do not know, but I've got to take all that off. And then I will take the 2x10s that I bought and saw them to the right size and make a floor that will not fall through until way after I'm dead.
Why do they put trim on the inside? For the same reason that they put chrome on my Oldsmobile all the way under the car. I guess it's so the mechanic can look at it when it's up on the rack.
When he's on either that or when he's on the little roller cart and goes under it and go, yeah, that's going to be $500.
No, not back in 74? Yeah, 74.
Hell, I'm surprised the entire car wasn't chromed. I had an Oldsmobile back then.
And besides, the mechanic was my brother, so didn't cost shit.
Oh, well. There you go.
Yeah. And then I had to go and get married, and I lost my mechanic because my brother had the silly idea that Carl was going to know what to do.
You're married now. I don't have to fix your stuff. Yes, you do. Carl can fix my computer. He's not going to be able to fix the car. Different educational skills.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
When we would go car shopping, I was the one that looked under the hood.
Yeah.
The salesman would go, take a look at that, and Carl would go, yeah, it's a motor.
That's an engine. What am I
Yeah.
looking
And then Carl would walk around to the driver's door, open it up, and see if he could sit in it without bumping
hitting his head.
Mhm.
Priorities.
Yes.
That's me and Foxy too. She knows more about cars than I do, and people are like, "Well, that's just weird." And I'm like, "Dude, I have other shit on my mind. Okay, I don't give a damn about your car. I don't care."
Carl's a townie. I'm an old farmer's daughter. Plus, I took ag mechanics in college because I was going to go into ag business. And then I just turned up going into regular business, but
Yeah.
My brother-in-law is a mechanic. Therefore, my wife knows a lot more about. She can change her own oil. Me, I'm lucky people let me fill my own gas tank.
As long as Carl knows how to fix one thing. Carl's pretty good at mixing drinks too, I do believe.
He's not too bad at what he does now.
I grew
If
up on a
he,
farm. I used to be able to repair cars, and then they started putting computer shit in it, and I was no longer able to repair cars anymore
yeah,
unless it was a strictly mechanical part. And then they started turning the engine sideways, so there's no room to work on anything anymore.
Yep.
First time I had to replace an alternator in the van, it took me 2 days to figure out how to get the damn alternator out, and another day to Tetris the damn thing back in without taking the entire front end of the car apart.
yeah, Grant. Somebody has to stick up for the Witsman dude.
Yeah. Uh, I used to have friends that would phone me to come and fix their cars. Something or help them change the brakes or something simple like that.
Yeah. Well,
And
and I learned as much from my mom as I did from my father and brothers, because although she was a townie when she started out, she became a real farmer's wife, and she would be the one that, Dad had to keep on doing what he was doing. You go into town and pick up this part, and guy at the parts guys at the park store were like, no, you need this part, and then she's like, no, I need this part, until she finally found one guy who said, oh, you know what you're doing, so what do you need?
yeah,
So, yeah.
no, yeah. Happy to have working AC on a night like tonight. Grant, I'm sorry. If your AC doesn't work, go buy another one. That's all I can tell you.
It's only 72 here.
Go down to Ollie's, pick up a window unit for practically nothing, shove it in the window, plug it in, turn it on. Um, that's all I know how to do with that shit. Um,
Now, I'll be the first to admit that I really don't know shit about vehicles. I was lucky to pass my pass my CDL, because you had to memorize all the different parts and all that fun shit. But
yeah, for the safety
I,
checks.
yep, and I had a Chevy Malibu at the time, and it was acting kind of funky. It ended up throwing a check engine light, but it wasn't bad enough to where I'm like, okay, it's not drivable, But with the check engine light being on, I didn't want to risk doing Uber with it until I got it fixed. So I drove it over to AutoZone. So I'm like, I read it on my code reader, and it's like, okay, by this code, it's probably a spark plug. Yeah, it's still under warranty, but I can change out a damn spark plug, or at least one of my friends knows how to. So I take it over to AutoZone. They go out, they read the code, and the kid punches it in. And he's like, oh, well, according to our system, this needs to be changed and this needs to be changed. And I'm like, no, this issue screams spark plug. And this other guy comes over, he goes, no. He goes, when you run something through our code system, you run it through the computer, he goes, you never go by what it says is the first issue. He goes, that issue that came up, number 3 is the correct answer. It's most likely the spark plug. So it was a misfire on one of the cylinders.
Mm.
And he's like, well, I'm having issues pulling up this, finding a spark plug for it in the system. So the other guy looks at the computer and he types a few things. He goes, oh, here's the issue. It's a diesel. I said, excuse me? He goes, yeah, it's a diesel. There's, you need the whole distributor pack, not just a spark plug. I'm like, that car's not a diesel. It's a Chevy Malibu. It's unleaded. Oh no, according to our system, it's a diesel. Okay, I don't know shit about cars, but I know well enough that if I put unleaded into a diesel, I'm going to make it 100 feet from that gas pump before it dies. Oh no, yours is definitely a diesel, and it'd be this much for the part. I'm like, well, I got to wait until payday, so I'll come back then.
Mm.
Never went back. It's like
No.
I don't, like I said, I will be the first to admit I do not know shit about vehicles, but I know the difference between a diesel, especially in northern Indiana, where in the wintertime, if that was a diesel, I'd have to hook it up to a block heater,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a Chevy Malibu. Where in the hell am I going to fit a diesel engine under the hood of that thing? Like, it wasn't even a Chevy Malibu that had like a little turbo on it. So you couldn't even confuse it by having a turbo.
Yeah. And the problem probably was, to my best farm boy guess, needed to replace the spark plug cables.
Needed to replace the whole engine.
Oh.
Oh.
I took it to the dealership because it was still under warranty. It was still under its bumper to bumper. And took it in, and my guy that I used to work with at INDOT worked at that car dealership in their service center. And he's like, yeah, we'll take a look at it. Give us about half an hour. I'll let you know what's going on. Because I showed him everything. He's like, yeah, that's spark plug. So they go through, they change out the spark plug, clear the code, run it around a little bit, comes back on, throw in the same code. They're like, that's weird. Slap a different, maybe it's a bad spark plug. Slap a different one in. Same thing. What the hell? So they gave me a loaner car for a little bit because they're like, yeah, we're going to have to do a compression test on the pistons and see what's going on. They're
Okay.
like, there's something underlying here that we're not able to see just right here, right now. So they had to get the tool from another dealership. They only had one that they were sharing between the two, so they had to wait for it to get over there. And he calls me up about 3 days later. He's like, I've got good news and bad news. Which do you want first? Like, what's the bad news? You need a whole new engine. It's going to take about a week to get it in. What's the good news? You're still under warranty, so it's not costing you a dime. Oh, thank God.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Apparently, once they actually took the end, like they ran the compression test and actually took the head off and everything and started to look, it had worn part of the piston shaft, like the side. It had worn the side out.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But it was never, like, it never made a grinding sound. It never made, there was nothing that indicated that anything was going wrong other than the check engine light finally came on.
Yeah. My guess at first, before you explained it, was somehow or another a hole got burned into the piston head, which would have been a whole lot of work, but wouldn't have needed a new engine. But if it had worn away,
yeah, this was like in the sidewall.
Yeah, if it had worn that away, then who put the adamantium piston rings on this damn thing?
Right. Yeah, they set me up with he gave me a Buick LaCrosse to drive around in. Like,
Not bad.
One of the brand new ones, and even had like a little informational sticker on it with the price and everything. And curiosity got the best of me, and I went, I wonder what this would cost per month. It was nice. I mean, it rode smooth, had all the bells and whistles.
It would.
I figured it out at a 0% interest, which I knew I would never get with my credit at that time. but I just wanted to see like a base price. Yeah, it was like $750 a month. I'm like, that's more than my damn house payment. Well, this thing, like, you turn a corner and it had the headlights that turned with you.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I did not know this at first. And I'm driving home one night, hadn't drank that night, and I take a corner and the lights had turned, which I didn't really pay much attention to, but when I came back straight, they would kind of sway a little bit and recenter. I'm like, and I noticed the little sway. I was like, wait a second. So I took another corner and I saw it do it again. I'm like, okay, that's a feature on this thing. That's
not a bug. That's a feature.
You hope so.
I haven't been drinking tonight, so
It's time to say goodnight, Gracie.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. I am very sorry about that, folks, but it has been 2 hours, and oh yeah, now I'm set up for not the green room. And all right. Thank you all for being here. Thank everybody in the audience for being here. Thank everybody that's going to watch it in the replay for giving us the time of day. And we shall see you as soon as possible, whenever that happens to be. Good night.
Good night,
Night,
folks.
Good night.
Transmission overload. System will shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down.